guys, so I'm actually filming 3 videos today. I'm not posting them all today. I will either post them all this week or once each week, but I will keep you updated on that when I make a decision. I'm just going to film them straight through one time. I'm not going to refilm them because these are emotional videos, they're serious videos, and I think they're better when they're raw. So yeah, this first video is going to be about bullying, because I did a smaller video / review video of Cyberbully the other week, and I had a few comments and messages from people who got something good out of it, and I'm glad. And I didn't get any negative feedback from it yet, but I probably will eventually. Yeah, so I thought I would elaborate more, go into more detail about my experiences. And remember, these are just my experiences and how I deal with it. This is not medical advice of any kind. If you need someone to talk to or you need help, I will put resources down below, most of which you can find, or, well, I will just put a link to Write Love on Her Arms website, because they have a lot of resources there for anyone who needs it. And that's a charity that I really support, and I'm glad I found. Anyway, I started getting bullied when I was in about 1st grade because I was scared to have any kind of attention at all during school. So I was even afraid to raise my hand to ask to use the bathroom. So I did wind up having accidents, and I got made fun of for it in 1st and 2nd grade. So yeah, I mean, kids can be cruel, and they don't understand. Well, I didn't even understand that I had social anxiety back then. I didn't understand what was going on in my head. So I was already confused and upset, and then I started getting teased and bullied. And then in 3rd grade, I started gaining weight. I saw a picture of myself, and I thought I was fat. I was 8 years old, and I thought I was fat. And so kids started making fun of me for my weight, along with having accidents in 1st and 2nd grade, and they remembered that for years afterwards. I also got made fun of because of my race, because they didn't understand. The majority of my class were black, and so they thought they acted different than I did, and they thought I listened to different music than them, and they thought I was weird because I listened to country music. But that's not all I listened to. They thought that was all I listened to. But I listened to pop and R&B, but honestly, I don't really listen to rap that much. But that's just me. I mean, everyone has different taste in music. But kids are cruel, and anyone who does something differently than them deserves to be made fun of, I guess. But yeah, so I was made fun of for peeing my pants, for being overweight, and for listening to different music, for being a different race. And then in 4th grade, my mother started working at the school in the after-school program, and so I got made fun of for that. And I got made fun of because my mother was room mother of the class, so she would be in charge of, like, the Christmas party and all of that. Yeah, and she could be kind of strict at times, and kids didn't like that, of course. They didn't like getting in trouble when they did something wrong in daycare. So I got made fun of for that. So eventually I just stopped caring about everything in 5th grade, and I figured if no one else cared, why should I? So I just stopped brushing my hair. I would wake up in the morning and just get dressed and go to school. And I got made fun of because I didn't have a lot of clothes, because we didn't have that much money. I got made fun of because my hair was all knotted up, of course. Yeah. I did also in 4th grade, I stopped caring about my grades too, so I did get a couple of D's and F's because I just didn't feel like doing my homework, so I didn't do it. But I would get A's on the test, so my teacher knew something was wrong. She talked to my parents about it, and I started doing my homework again. But yeah, then the same thing happened in 6th grade. felt like I was all alone. My so-called best friend started ignoring me and hanging out with someone else, and everyone who said they were my friend would turn around and make fun of me with everyone else because it was easier for them. They didn't want to get made fun of too, which I understand now, but back then it hurt immensely. And yeah, then in 7th grade I got made fun of because I wanted to be a cheerleader. And luckily for me, there wasn't enough people trying out to actually hold tryouts, so everyone made the squad. And I was made fun of because I was the fat cheerleader, but I did love cheerleading. It was an outlet for me to come out of my shell a bit. But then kids started calling me the smelly kid, and they said I had a problem with my hygiene, and they're saying all this behind my back, acting like I couldn't hear them, or I didn't know they were talking about me. They even wrote me a note after asking me what hygiene meant. They wrote me a note saying I had a problem with my hygiene or whatever, but I didn't even read it. And they're like, oh, it's like she knew it was about how she smelt bad or whatever. And I just want them to know that I am neither deaf nor stupid. I knew you were talking about me. I could hear you perfectly, especially when your desk was right next to mine. But yeah, and that continued throughout 7th and 8th grade. In 8th grade, I guess they just thought I was dirty and gross, and I still didn't have a lot of clothes, and I was still fat, and I still wanted to be on cheerleading. And so we took this week-long class trip to a place called Wall Camp, and we slept in the cabin or whatever, and we ate there, you know, of course, because we spent 24/7 there. And there was a rumor that started saying I peed in a chair in the dining hall. And that did not happen. And that continued after we got back. I wound up riding the bus home by myself from Wall Camp. No one wanted to sit by me. Yeah, and then eventually the rumor just kept going for a few weeks after that for some reason. And they started alluding to it during lunchtime. No one wanted to sit with me at lunch, but each class had designated tables they had to sit at, so somebody had to sit next to me. But of course, my table was the last table that anyone sat at. But yeah, eventually one day they just kept talking about it like I wasn't there. So after lunch, I wound up going to the main person who was saying, you know, who was spreading the rumor, who was instigating it. And I went up and told her that she doesn't know what she's talking about and that nobody likes her anyway. And after that, they stopped making fun of me for it. They stopped spreading that rumor. And I shouldn't have said that. That was really mean of me. That was the only instance of me, I mean, it's not really, it's kind of bullying, but it's kind of not. I mean, I shouldn't have said it, and it was actually the truth, but I shouldn't have said it, because there were people talking about her behind her back, saying that she was annoying, and they just didn't like her. I guess my class was just full of people, two-faced people. They would act like your friend and then turn around and talk about you behind your back. But that's just kids. Kids are cruel, and yeah. But being alone in grade school, you hear what everyone else is talking about, and I knew who everyone was making fun of, what they were saying about them, and there was a couple other kids in my class who were being made fun of, and I should have stood up for them, but I didn't, and I'm sorry for not standing up for you if you're watching this. I should have. I know what it's like to be made fun of and not have someone stand up for you, and I'm sorry. But there were other instances where I stood up for someone who wasn't in the class at the time, because we went on this youth group trip with the church, and one of my classmates ran and stubbed his toe really bad that it was bleeding, and he had to have surgery on it, and he couldn't walk on it. So that next Monday, his cousin, who was also in the class, was making fun of him for missing school because he stubbed his toe. And he wasn't on the youth trip. He didn't go to the same church as us. But I was there. I saw what happened. I saw the blood. And so I told him, I mean, it's his own cousin. He should know better anyway. But I told him to stop making fun of him. And I yelled at everyone for laughing when he was talking about him. So that felt good to stand up for him. And then another time, a girl broke her leg in gym class. And she was another girl that people made fun of. And so I thought it was best not to tell the boys of the class, because the boys and the girls had gyms separately. So I thought it was best not to tell the boys in the class what happened, because there were certain ones that would have laughed at her for doing so. But I guess the teacher didn't think it was a good idea. But whatever, I was just trying to save her from being made fun of. But it didn't work. Yeah. But then later on in 8th grade, we had 8th grade banquet where we kind of dressed up, and then afterward we had this kind of variety show type thing where the 8th grade would perform for their parents and the 7th graders who served them. But I wore this pink floral sundress type thing with the sweater over it because I was self-conscious about my arms. And a picture from that night wound up on Facebook a couple years ago. And my classmates continued to make fun of me for wearing that sweater. And that was like 2 or 3 years ago. And I'm almost 23 now. So we were in our 20s. We were adults. And they still hadn't matured enough to not make fun of me. I was still the easy target. So I guess not only do they think I'm deaf and blind, or deaf and stupid, they thought I was blind as well. But I'm not. I saw the comment even before somebody erased it. I saw it. But at least you had the presence of mind to realize you were being immature and erase your comment. But you shouldn't have posted it to begin with. Yeah. And it was kind of their fault that I wore the sweater to begin with. If I hadn't been teased and made fun of all my life, I probably wouldn't have felt so self-conscious to wear that sweater. And I still felt self-conscious 4 years later when I went to prom. And I wore a pink one-shoulder dress that was kind of form-fitting. And I felt like I was a huge cow and wound up wearing 2 different waist slimmers on top of each other, plus that same white sweater to cover my arms. And I don't think people realized how badly I felt about myself. I don't think they realized how badly words can hurt. And I do regret not being myself and trying to cover myself up to please other people. And I feel bad that I gave in to the terrible message going around our society that if you're not a size 2, then you're some hideous freak that shouldn't exist. And that's just wrong. And I hope that kids nowadays realize what they say can hurt. And I hope they realize what an effect it has on people. And I'm not saying all of this to throw someone under the bus or anything like that. That's why I didn't name specific names. I'm not still holding grudges. I'm just letting you know that the words that you say to other people get engraved in their brain, and they don't forget it. I do forgive everyone who bullied me and teased me in grade school. I understand that they were giving into the peer pressure from just one kid starting it. They just had to all give in because they didn't want to be made fun of too. And I understand that. But I'm hoping this video starts opening people's eyes. And I hope if you are in school still and you're watching this video and you see someone getting bullied, I hope you stand up for them, because they will remember you for the rest of their lives if you do. They will thank you for the rest of their lives. And if you're bullying someone, please stop. I know you probably have insecurities of your own, and so you don't know how to deal with them, so you take it out on other people. But that can have some serious effect. You don't need to make somebody else's life harder than it is, because you don't know what kind of stuff they're going through. You don't know what kind of emotional state they're in. So please don't bully other people, and stand up for the ones who don't stand up for themselves. I didn't stand up for myself because I was scared to. I didn't know how. I didn't know what to say. So, yeah. If you are being bullied, you're not alone. There are other kids who are out there, and I bet you the people that are bullying you were bullied at some point in their lives as well. So next time you're bullied, if you're courageous enough, go up to the person when no one else is around and just ask them if they're okay. Ask them why they chose to pick on you. And you might get a hostile reaction, and I hope you don't. If you want to, bring a friend with you so you're not alone when you do it. But bullying has to stop. It has to stop. And schools might try and implement anti-bullying rules and regulations, but they don't work. They don't work because kids are cruel, and they do it when the teachers aren't looking. So, yeah. If you are having thoughts of hurting yourself in any way, I will put a link to Write Love on Her Arms website. It's an amazing cause and charity that I am glad I found when I did. They have a lot of resources and links for you to check out. And again, I am not a professional in any way, so do not take my advice as medical fact or anything. But if you don't feel like you can talk to anyone, there are places you can call or email anonymously. Or if you don't want to do that, start off with a journal. Write out your feelings, because it's not good to hold everything in. And I used to do that, and I got ulcers from that. So, yeah, write out your feelings, whether they're good or bad. Write them out, because it can have some serious repercussions if you don't. If you keep it all inside, it's just going to make you feel worse. So, yeah, find someone to talk to, find an outlet, do something creative. Do not hurt yourself. If you're feeling all alone and you feel like nobody cares, I care. Even if I don't know you, I care. I care about each and every one of your lives. They matter. You all matter. Yeah. So, thanks for watching this video. Keep an eye out for my other videos. I hope at least one of you gets something positive out of this. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.